Somewhere right now, the one you're destined to marry is thinking about you too. You may not see it, but their soul is being pulled toward yours by a power greater than both of you. Every delay, every silence, every unanswered prayer, it's all leading to one divine reunion that's already written in the stars. You've felt it for a while now, that quiet knowing deep in your heart that something is shifting. The dreams have become clearer. The signs keep repeating. The timing feels close. It's not your imagination. The one you're destined to marry is making their way back to you, not by coincidence, but by divine design. There's an invisible thread that has always tied your souls together, no matter how far apart life took you. And now that thread is glowing brighter, because it's time. You've both walked through your own seasons of growth. There were days you doubted love entirely, nights you questioned whether destiny even existed. You convinced yourself that maybe it was over, that maybe love like that only happens once, and it's gone. But destiny never forgets. What's written in divine order doesn't expire. It simply waits for both hearts to be ready. The person you're destined to marry has been going through their own awakening. They've felt the void too, the kind that no amount of distraction or success could fill. You were the quiet ache in their soul that kept reminding them of something pure, something unfinished. While you were healing your heart, they were confronting their pride. While you were learning self-worth, they were learning humility. And through those parallel lessons, the universe has been aligning your frequencies again. This reunion isn't accidental. It's orchestrated. Life had to separate you both, so you could become the people who could finally love each other right. You had to outgrow old patterns, release fears, and rebuild your strength. They had to face their shadows, their mistakes, their unresolved emotions. Every challenge, every heartbreak, every silence. It was all part of the preparation, because destiny doesn't bring two unready souls together. It waits until they've both evolved into the version capable of sustaining sacred love. You see, the universe doesn't forget promises made between souls. It doesn't erase connections that were formed before time. When you met them, it wasn't random. It was remembrance. You didn't fall in love. You recognized someone your spirit already knew. That's why no matter how far apart you drifted, something inside you never let go completely. That love wasn't ordinary. It was eternal. Right now, everything is moving behind the scenes. You might not see the signs in the physical world yet, but energy doesn't lie. When you start to feel unusually peaceful about something you once cried over, that's alignment. When your heart suddenly feels ready again, that's timing. When you stop needing to control the outcome, that's when the miracle starts forming. Because destiny always flows when surrender replaces struggle. They've been thinking about you more than you know. The universe has been planting your name in their thoughts, your image in their dreams, your voice in their memory. They're being guided, nudged, prepared. The same divine energy that helped you heal is now helping them awaken. And soon, their path will curve back toward you as naturally as the tide returning to the shore. But here's the truth. This reunion won't feel like the past. It won't come with confusion or chaos. It will arrive quietly, peacefully, almost as if it was always meant to be. You'll recognize it not by the intensity, but by the calm. The one you're destined to marry will no longer be a storm. They'll be your stillness. They'll come not to take but to give, not to repeat but to renew. The lessons you both endured were not to break you. They were to prepare you. You learned that love isn't about possession, it's about freedom. You learned that soulmates don't complete you. They complement your wholeness. You discovered your own light, your own strength, your own ability to love yourself first. That's exactly why destiny can now return what's meant for you, because you've become what love was waiting for. Remember, divine timing is never late. It moves with perfect precision. The love story you prayed for isn't lost. It's maturing. The universe has been aligning your lives in silence. New jobs, new cities, new friendships, all weaving into a pattern that will bring your paths together again. You're not waiting for them by chance. You're aligning with them by design. When this reunion happens, you'll understand why the wait was necessary. You'll see that every delay carried meaning. If it had happened earlier, it wouldn't have lasted. You needed the space to heal your wounds. to strengthen your boundaries, to learn what love truly requires. They needed the time to confront their own ego, to face the consequences of their choices, to understand the depth of your connection. Timing is everything in divine love, and your time is arriving. So don't chase, don't worry, don't doubt. Stay grounded in your knowing. What's destined for you cannot be missed. Every sign, every synchronicity, every moment of déjà vu, it's confirmation that love is on its way back in divine order. The one you're meant to marry is not lost. They are evolving through divine orchestration, just as you have. There's a sacred beauty in divine reunions. They don't rush, they don't beg, they don't force. They flow like music that's finally found its rhythm again. You'll feel it, that magnetic pull, that familiar energy that feels like home. It won't be the same as before, because both of you have changed. But the essence, the bond, the soul recognition, that will remain untouched. They will see you now in ways they couldn't before. They will understand your value, your patience, your love. They'll look into your eyes and realize they were always searching for you in everyone else. You'll hear it in their voice, the softness that comes from growth, the sincerity that comes from awakening. You won't have to ask if it's real. You'll feel it, it'll be calm, it'll be sure. And you'll stand differently this time. You won't approach love from longing, but from wholeness. You won't fear losing them, because you'll know you can never lose what's truly yours. The version of you who once waited has now become the version who attracts. And that is when divine love finds you, when you stop searching and start becoming. The universe has heard every prayer you whispered through tears, every night you asked, why hasn't it happened yet? It was never a denial, it was a delay with purpose, because divine unions are not rushed, they are refined. What's about to return to your life is not a fragment, it's fulfillment, not unfinished business, but divine completion. Trust that your love story is not written in human timing, but in eternal rhythm. There are no coincidences in love that feels this deep. The one you're destined to marry is already on their journey back to you, not through chance, but through purpose. The universe doesn't forget what it created. It only perfects it in divine sequence. So when you start feeling an inner calm, when signs begin to repeat, when your heart feels both peaceful and expectant, that's your soul whispering, it's close. You're not imagining it, you're sensing divine movement. The reunion you've prayed for is already in motion. And when it happens, it will be more beautiful than you imagined. You'll understand why every heartbreak had to happen, why every silence had to last, why every prayer took time to manifest. Because you'll see that nothing was ever lost. It was simply becoming ready for you. Love, when guided by destiny, never ends. It only transforms. It bends but never breaks. It separates to strengthen. It silences to teach. And when it returns, it brings peace, not pain. Clarity, not confusion. Commitment, not chaos. So take a deep breath. The wait is almost over. The one you're destined to marry is coming. Not as they were, but as they were always meant to be. Ready, certain, aligned. They'll come with the eyes of someone who's seen enough to know what truly matters, and with the heart of someone who's finally ready to stay. You'll know it's destiny not by how fast it happens, but by how right it feels. It will feel like coming home after a lifetime of searching. And in that moment you'll realize, love was never gone. It was always circling back, guided by divine timing, waiting for this exact moment when both hearts could finally meet as one. Separation was never the end. It was divine preparation for the reunion your souls were promised. Sometimes life has to pull two hearts apart to teach them the true depth of their connection. What felt like abandonment was actually the universe rearranging circumstances for your highest good. The distance was a sacred space for both of you to grow, to heal, and to release the versions of yourselves that couldn't hold divine love yet. You needed time to remember your worth without their validation, and they needed time to realize your value beyond absence. This season of separation was never meant to destroy you. It was meant to strengthen you. Every lonely night, every unanswered prayer, every tear you shed had purpose. It softened your heart, sharpened your intuition, and deepened your faith. Love doesn't end when distance begins, it simply shifts into a higher vibration. And soon what was once broken will be rewritten with divine grace, proving that what's meant to be will always find its way home. Both of you had to grow apart, so you could learn love without fear, and return with wisdom, not wounds. Love cannot thrive in fear. It only flourishes in freedom. You both needed to face the shadows that once made you cling, chase, or doubt. In separation, you learned how to love yourself, and they learned what life feels like without your light. Those silent months and uncertain years were never wasted. They were classrooms of transformation. You both met mirrors that reflected your unhealed parts, and through that, you grew. The pain you felt became the lesson they needed, and the healing you found became the magnet calling them home. Now you no longer love from emptiness but from wholeness. When you reunite, it won't be to fix each other but to evolve together. Love will no longer be a battlefield. It will be your peace. Destiny doesn't forget. It simply waits until two hearts are strong enough to hold eternal love. Divine timing isn't about delay. It's about readiness. The universe knows the exact moment when both of you have matured enough to sustain what destiny began. Sometimes love appears too early, when wounds are fresh and egos are loud. That's why time steps in, not to separate, but to strengthen. You both needed to build stability, courage, and emotional depth before you could meet again in balance. Destiny is patient because it values permanence over instant gratification. It remembers the promise your souls made long before you met in this life. And now, as both of you evolve into your higher selves, the alignment grows closer. The universe doesn't forget sacred love stories. It perfects them in silence. The one you're meant to marry is awakening too, guided by signs, dreams, and divine reminders of you. They've tried to move forward, but your energy keeps finding them in unexpected ways. Songs remind them of moments with you. Dreams replay your laughter. Random memories surface just when they start to forget. That's not coincidence. It's divine recall. The universe is whispering to their spirit, awakening the truth they once ignored. They're starting to see that love like yours doesn't fade. It transforms and returns with power. They're being guided through intuition, through emotion, through unseen forces aligning every step. This awakening is their preparation, the same way yours once was. They are beginning to feel the same peace, the same certainty that you already know deep inside. The reunion is near. When you stop chasing and start trusting, the universe aligns every detail to bring them back naturally. Chasing is a signal of fear, but trusting is a vibration of faith. When you stop needing to control the outcome, the energy between you shifted. You learned that real love doesn't respond to desperation. It responds to belief. In that moment of surrender, you activated divine alignment. Every person you met, every place you went, every situation you experienced was quietly positioning you toward this reunion. The same divine hand that closed one door is now opening another. What once felt like waiting is now turning into receiving. You no longer have to force what's already yours by design. The universe does its best work in silence, and your trust has become the signal that love is safe to return. This reunion won't repeat the past. It will reveal the power of divine timing and love reborn in peace. You'll notice how everything feels calmer this time. The chaos that once defined your connection will be replaced by understanding. The arguments will turn into conversations, and the silence will turn into soft communication. You'll see in their eyes the humility that only growth can bring. The same person who once ran will now choose to stay, not because of need, but because of awakening. The energy between you will feel new, not rushed, not forced, but divinely balanced. This is not the return of old love, it's the rebirth of evolved love. The universe never brings people back to repeat cycles. It reunites them to complete destinies. What's coming is not a second chance. It's the first time both of you are truly ready.